What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Today's video is a response to a comment made by CityBoy818. CityBoy818 asked, how does it go for residents when a favor needs to be done? I saw another content creator interview someone that did time, and the guy being interviewed said residents only get involved in removals if they raise their hand. So what can residents do? So can residents do time without doing a hit? That's pretty damn interesting to me. No disrespect to whatever content creator it was and who he was interviewing, but that's complete nonsense. So the term residents only applies to those from Southern California. Northerners don't have that term. I've never heard the blacks or the Asians or anyone else use that term. Only Southerners, right? And I've done several videos on residents, but because CityBoy818 was asking, and because it seems like the topic of residents is a curiosity for a lot of people, I wanted to make sure that I answered this. I responded to this. First of all, where you're from, once you're behind those walls, it only matters as far as identifying you. If you're not from a barrio, they still have what they call you, your first name, your last name, your CDC number, any tattoos you have, any scars you have. Those are things that are utilized in there just for security purposes. You get into some trouble, you try to change your name, you still got your same last name, you still got your same CDC number, those tattoos, etc., right? Because once you get inside those walls, you fall under one of the big four. As a Southerner, you would know what group that would be. Everything you do is to benefit those that you are under. Your barrio only matters in your barrio. And I think everybody knows that, right? Like when you're in your barrio matters. When you leave your barrio, your enemigos don't care about your neighborhood. So just to make that clear, your neighborhood only matters to you and those from your neighborhood. When you get behind the walls, it doesn't matter if you were a tagger on the streets, if you were just a regular dude. Once you have chosen to house with whatever faction you're gonna run with, you're gonna be treated the same way. So for somebody to say that residents only do pegadas when they raise their hand, that's the furthest thing from the truth. When it comes to Southerners, especially on a level 4 yard, there's no such thing as dead weight. If you're on that yard, it's because you've been accepted and you're going to carry your weight. Nobody's going to carry your weight for you. No matter where you're from, you could be from the biggest, most known barrio to not being from a barrio at all. You're expected to do the same thing, to conduct yourself in the same manner. Guys that raise their hand for any sticking are guys that have a plan. They have aspirations. They want to do some stuff behind those walls, right? If you're just doing your time, if you're not gambling, if you're not getting high, if you're not running up debts, if you're not bringing attention to yourself, you're going to be one of the last ones that's asked to do anything, because there are enough Southerners on every yard to handle whatever needs to be handled. Now, when there's a riot, everyone is expected to get down, including the Christians. If you're a raza on that yard and there's a riot with another group and everyone's going, right? I would say this, that if that was true in any way, there's a lot of guys that don't have it in them to be a killer. That's not a bad thing. Recognize what you can do and then do that, right? I used to be of the belief that not everyone's a killer. Find out who is and who isn't, right? Vatos that were killers, they're going to be doing whatever they do, right? They're going to be doing a lot of the acts of violence. Guys that aren't, they can cut the lockers up, the desks up, the bunk up. They can make weaponry. They can hold weaponry. They can bring in dope. They can hold dope. There's a lot of things that they can do. And as long as they're doing something, they're of value, right? What I was getting at earlier was if that was the case where dudes say they're a resident and they're not expected to carry their weight, believe me, there'd be a lot of dudes who would say, hey, I'm a resident. That's just a reality. Not everybody's a killer. But everyone, like I said, if you're behind those walls, especially on the high level yard, you're part of the reindeer games. Your part might be a little smaller than others, but everyone's equal. It doesn't matter what barrio you're from, and who you're related to at times can matter in certain circumstances. But I met a few vatos in there that were not from a neighborhood. Nobody ever looked at him like, that vato's not even from a barrio. Nah, that don't matter. The barrios don't matter behind the walls. That's just for identifying purposes only, man. There are guys who weren't from barrios that became from some very, very serious dudes behind those walls. So hopefully this video will get to those who have the questions about residents and what's expected of them behind the walls. Again, if you're a raza, I don't care what faction it is, you are expected to conduct yourself in the way that everyone else from that faction conducts themselves. You're not going to be treated less than because there's nobody above you other than the legends. I've said that before. There's dudes that'll get a position on the yard. They just got more responsibilities. They're not better than you. They're just better connected than you. They can definitely make your life hard in there. But at the end of the day, they're your equal. They're not a made dude. So residents, people that maybe have a family member that's a resident or something, or are just curious, they're a resident themselves. Hopefully you're not thinking of going to prison. Hopefully the stories that I tell and others tell about the brutality, the ugliness, the violence, the sadness, the hopelessness of incarceration will make you think twice. I know with my channel, that's been the main focus for a long time, from the jump. People, let Hollywood glamorize something they've never been a part of. But I've never met a dude who is a lifer or a long-term offender, 20 years or more, that would get on camera and glamorize being incarcerated. There's nothing special about it. Doesn't make you harder. It just means you may have lived a harder life. That's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.